Going on, Shaq?
Breaking news. Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Here on the War Report. Sean Diddy Combs acquitted of trafficking, but guilty on lesser charges. How does that make you feel?
Yo. It's weird. Yo, Shaq.
I know. Put your glasses on. Come on. Let's go.
Listen. I'm going to be fully authentic and vulnerable here. Okay? A part of me, weirdly, deep down, really wanted him to win or lose extremely only.
Okay.
You know, like, there's a part of me that grew up idolizing this dude. Like,
right.
As an example of what's possible if you work hard as a black man that was young and believed in his dream. That part of me wants to scream, not guilty, start dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I mean? I want it to rain while I dance.
Sure.
Weirdly. That part of me is there.
Right.
The more mature adult version of me still wanted to dance, but in his demise.
Sure.
I had accepted that this dude is evil. I've heard enough proof. I've seen enough from other people that I respect and whose work I like admire and who as people I rock with. And also just like there comes a point where like some of your stories, they go from like, oh, that's kind of interesting as aura to like, oh, that's just you.
Right.
You
right.
know? I heard enough of that to realize, oh, this dude just doesn't make threats. Like he's a sociopath. And I don't want to cheer for that. Both as a fan and also as now someone trying to be in the industry. I don't want to work with people like that.
Right.
That part of me was hoping he was fully guilty because it would have been easier to like kind of put him away as this thing that we all got wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst to me because like he's getting off on everything that was really like the major stuff. Like basically he got guilty of like driving people to the crime.
Right.
But not the crimes.
Right.
And with the amount of money he has, I know he's gonna get off. I know there's gonna be a rollout of his cleanup. You know what I mean? He got to pick a new name. Love didn't work, but he's gonna have a new branding. You know what I mean? We're gonna get a new album, and as much as I despise the guy, I know it's gonna be dope.
Do you?
I real talk shot. I haven't seen him miss when he's focused on music. I have to give him that. Like even at the very end when he was like making R&B albums with other people doing the singing. And I don't even know how they're his albums at this point, but they were good. They just weren't his technically.
Mm-hmm.
But I have every time I hear a song that he's involved with, it tends to be, oh, I could vibe with that. And I don't like that. In my heart, I'm mad now about that. I don't want to say that. But that's my issue. That like he's gonna make stuff that is palatable and he shouldn't be allowed to for a while. Mm-hmm. For a long while.
Right. Well, the things that he was found guilty on, there were 2 charges of prostitution, transportation, like you said, driving the prostitutes to the scene of the crime, and each charge has a possible 10 years.
Yeah.
Out. So he could be sentenced up to a maximum of 20 years in prison, but it's up to the judge. And we all know, I mean, I say we all know, maybe we don't all know, but I feel like we should at this point all know that shit don't matter because Trump's going to fucking pardon him Labor Day.
Word. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, we know. I feel like we should know this. But yeah. I think I've been clear since the late 90s that I want him under a jail. And before, that was just on vibes alone.
Yo.
So
real shit shot. Everything that he did grimy on its own, it kind of added to the story if you looked at it in a weird way. Right? Like he had
added to what? The story of Diddy?
The story, son.
Yeah.
I'm a, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
for those of y'all that are too young to remember, the first real Diddy story that cracked was before Diddy was even a music exec. He was still party promoting in Howard, putting together like huge events. And the first time Diddy made the news was people were trampled and some people passed away at a party of his.
Right.
And like weirdly, that became like a sales pitch for his parties. Like, yo, this shit's popping.
It's
You know what I
I
mean?
mean, it's not weirdly, he certainly put the word out to market it as such because that's what his skill is. His skill is marketing.
Yeah,
And so he's just like, let it be known that my parties are so hype that people get trampled in them.
right.
And so that's all been work. And of course, it has added to Diddy lore because he has made it such.
Yeah,
So everything he has managed to flip. And I think that's what is bothering me the most is that we have to sit through another fucking Diddy flip. And
yeah,
I'm just annoyed, very annoyed at just at the prospect of that happening. But yeah, I mean, I saw a couple of days ago I think the jurors reached out to the judge and they were like, "Hey, one of these jurors, I don't think he's gonna like come to any sort of conclusion." Like all I remember is it was like juror number 25, which I was like, how many people they got back there trying to figure this out? Um, but that juror was just like, it don't seem like this juror is gonna like decide anything.
yeah,
And it was looking, they already came out to the judge once, like, hey man, we can't decide. It was looking real hung jury-ish. And the judge was like, "Hey, man, you've only been at it like a day and a half. Go back in. We'll get you
yeah.
some Little Caesars. Let's keep working on it."
Real talk.
But that is when I was like, "Oh, this is fucking like, it's done. If you can't make this decision enough that you're like, we wanna stop," like, after a day and a half,
It
what's
get
happening?
frustrating in there. You
Eh
you been in jury duty too, right, Sha?
no, I haven't. I know it's
Oh.
frustrating. I know it's frustrating, but, like, just imagine the holdout. Imagine you having to go up against you, Gastor. So you gotta face another Gastor, and you are adamant about your view, and most everyone agrees with you, and then there's this one other Gastor who's like, "Nah, B," just as adamant. Have you ever gone up against yourself? Not counting
Michaela.
your daughter, because at
Yeah,
some
I was gonna
point you're
say
gonna have to
Michaela
go up
all the
against her, and that's gonna be much more fraught. But, like
You saw a guttural though? Hell yeah, Michaela, all the time about that girl. She is brilliant. Yo, but real talk, it was that. Like, I will say, when I was in jury duty, that's kind of one of the things I got out of it that like it made me realize how important and difficult communication is.
Mm,
Because like I joke about it on stage and a few different things, but like sincerely being in the room, I don't think anyone in there was incompetent. Everyone
right.
in there felt like they could, put together valid thoughts. They felt like they were more than coherent. I kind of got the vibe that everyone had like jobs with certain stakes where like they were counted on to make decisions. Like
Mhm.
it felt like an educated room.
Right.
And despite that, we couldn't come to the same conclusion right away. Like
Mhm.
there was, without question, three people that were like definitely disagreeing with the other seven, and two of us that were like, nah, hold up, let's just take our time. And I
Right.
was in that. I was like, I agree with you, seven, but like we sending somebody away for like 3 decades. Let's talk it over. You know
Yeah,
what I
let's
mean? Like
let's see.
real talk. Seven came in like, yo, let's send this dude out. I got like a date later. You know what I mean? Like they had their mind made up 2 days ago.
Right.
And then three of them was strong the other way too. They're like, nah, that's definitely not what I'm seeing. And I want to stress what blew my mind about this is that there was video.
Mm.
Like we saw video of the thing that happened, and like people were disagreeing, like not even with what went down, but I'm talking like they were people that were adamantly disagreeing on what a war was.
Oh, wow.
Like shit like
Wow.
that. Like straight
Yeah.
up. And like, so like it blew my like it gave me an understanding of like, yo, like you could be fully competent, intelligent, whatever you view as a barometer of normal, bachelor's
Mhm.
degree, management in Fortune 500 company, they literally will disagree with you on what a wall is if it comes down to it, yo. You know what I mean? And you think they're gonna agree on like someone else's crime like that? Like, there's always someone in, and I don't know how they came up with that number, but
Mhm.
12 is the perfect number. It's like
Mhm.
just enough where like you get a variety of thoughts, and if you can convince all 12 that like what went down, I tend to be like, I get it. Like you deserve whatever you getting, or props to you for getting off, because that number is just enough where it's hard to like sway it. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Well, that's the news coming in hot for your boy. I mean, literally, by the time people hear this, it'll be a day or so, but, like, this is literally I've been looking at this for the past couple of hours, just
Uh,
shaking my head.
Nah, straight up, though. They was high fiving each other at the corner store over this shit. Did it? You
Ugh,
know what I mean?
see,
I
it's
was like, I
that
don't even.
kinda
But
that
like, yeah,
kinda shit.
yeah, like I didn't even know like where they fell on it. I don't know if they were like rooting for him getting off or for him being caught for the little he did get caught. The energies was all over the place. Um, yeah, there's definitely people that are fans of his. They're happy.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not there.
y
He lost me over this whole run. Just too much came out that it's just like, yo, bro, like I don't care how much cool art you made. Like, it's you're a dick.
and you know what? Honestly, if you can change one person's mind by being a psychopath, then it's not all in vain.
Bro, isn't that the real art? You
Isn't
know?
that the isn't that what we've learned? Ay, ay, ay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he will be back on these streets.
Ah, man,
It is
yuck,
wild. Yeah,
yuck.
it is.
So, yeah, but he's definitely gonna be out, and he's going to be even more insufferable. This whole honestly, really, sadly, I'm trying to keep my spirits up, you know what I mean? Eating a lot of sugar or something, I don't know, but, that's not helping, and, uh,
That's why I
uh
got this cup. It's rum in this shit. Real talk. I ain't showing y'all water no more.
Yeah, right? Like, it's really um, it feels yucky. This is,
No.
just off of news off of the past couple of days,
Mm-mm.
not great.
And the part of why I'm like I'm specifying that like I'm expecting to be tortured by his music more is
Mhm.
because it's all he's gonna have left.
Right.
Because he's gonna be in a place where like even though he's free, his brand took a hit. You know what I mean? In the sense that like corporate won't mess with him. So like,
Right.
so when he doesn't have the sponsorships, the vodka to sell you or anything else, like
Mhm.
all he got daddy's house. So whatever that studio is that he still owns. You know what I mean? So
Forgot about daddy's
that's
house.
all he got left. You know what I mean? He gonna be back there, call up the old boys that's still left, you know what I mean? See if
Yeah,
any of them still rock with him.
great.
And
So, Generation X, all y'all old ass motherfuckers, of which I am one. Um, yeah, go fuck with your boy, because that's whose money he's gonna get. Anyone younger, you know, millennial, maybe an elder millennial, but millennials and you can forget about it with Gen Z.
yo,
They ain't trying to hear
they
that shit at all.
none of it.
And Gen Alpha don't even know who Diddy is. So, like,
This is all they know you for.
yeah, this is it. This is I don't know, it's someone that made my parents real upset when they heard the news, but I didn't know who it is. That's how they're going to remember this in, like, 15 years of just like, "Oh, yeah, that guy."
Uh,
Like, it's not gonna hit the same. So, yeah, yeah, great, fantastic.
amen.
Oh my god.
I will say, like, I am impressed actually with the recon. And I don't know if it's just my kids, but like the fact that the internet is so like um available to everybody, and now like with things like Wikipedia being so thorough, I'm regularly impressed with the random references. Like Aiden will explain things to me, and like he'll try to stupefy it for me in a way that like he knows he's smarter than me now in certain things. Like he's like, like we're this because of like depth of knowledge, right? Like
Okay.
as much as like I'm older and I have more information and I'm the adult, like
You
I
you
don't know about video games.
yeah, you've got the wisdom. He's got
Yeah,
knowledge right now, but you've got wisdom.
right.
Got it.
So when he'll explain something to me, he'll be like, "Oh, I got to translate this to dad." So
Right.
like he was talking to me about a video game that he likes that is as old as me, but I
Mhm.
didn't play because it was big in Japan. But he's gotten really into it,
Okay.
right? So he'll start explaining it to me, and he'll be like, "All right, so this came out in 1994. This is circa Illmatic, Dad. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like shit,
Okay.
like, and he'll be, and I'm
All
like,
right, kid.
real
How do you
talk,
not pop him in the mouth? All right, buddy.
real talk. Like I know how numbers work, Aiden. All right."
Yeah, okay. Smart ass kids. That's why I ain't got none.
Real talk. He be dropping like little gems like that. I'm like, okay, okay. I see you've been reading. Okay. Keep that
Okay.
to yourself though. All right. I know that. You only know to read that because of me. All right.
Right, exactly.
Oh man. Yeah, he's been nerding out on this game that it goes by in Japan, it was called Mother. And in America, it was translated, I think, to Earthbound. I
Okay.
never played it. And like, but he got really into it, and it started in 1988. So yeah, every reference that he makes about like a new level of the game, it was all stuff between 88 and like 96. So he'll like reference random rap albums down to like the month of
Okay.
like development. He's like, yeah, so this came out, so like when Troy dropped, yeah, like right around there, Dad.
I can't with this one.
Like it makes me think
I
that
mean,
like
he's speaking your language.
yeah,
He
like
is taking a point to speak your language so that you can understand
yeah,
in his mind, understand what's happening.
straight up. Like I'm almost to the point to where like he got the dates down and then he like looked at like what came out so that I could explain to Dad one day.
Right.
But straight up,
Yes.
I appreciated the effort. So I like that the internet is there for that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm hoping that this part of the Diddy story will be bigger in terms of like weight than the other
Oh,
stuff.
it's going to be in the headline of his obituary.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, no, this is too big. You can't just go, "Diddy, famed producer, died, blah, 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 blah." You have to say, "Diddy, famed producer, famed yet disgraced producer." You know what
Mm,
I mean? Like, it's gonna be in there. This is too big.
I'm hoping so. I
Yeah,
felt that way if he got all five. I'm not sure because he only got two.
but he still got. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He still spent time in the pokey, and
right.
he still had to go through the trial. He still
Like
got
the
brought up on these charges. He was still charged with these things. That's enough.
so question then,
Mhm.
does he still get played at a party?
I mean, he's still getting played now. I mean, they still
Yeah, like
playing bumping R. Kelly. There will always be
right.
areas that are like, I don't see what the problem is, and that's the problem. But yeah, so yeah, no, he will absolutely still be played.
Yeah,
Like you can't really stop that. If it is hardwired into people's brains of like a good time,
right.
then they will play it. Now, some people may put it on a playlist and hit private session and just play it in a dark room by themselves where no one can track it.
Right.
That may happen. Or you can just be at a bowling alley. It's cosmic night at a bowling alley. They got all the
Oh,
black lights on. And yeah, someone will drop, I don't know, "Sky's the limit" or some shit. I don't know, whatever is his. And
it's a beautiful Biggie song. Don't hurt that one for me. I love that song.
that's what I mean. Everyone gets hit by association.
Man,
So it would have been Biggie, but this is bigger than Biggie.
yeah.
In his headline, this is bigger and more recent. So
That's
yeah, they definitely have made adjustments to his obituary because it's already partially written. That's what they do in newspapers. They already write a draft
right. They
for all
ready.
these. Yeah, they're ready. So they absolutely updated the headline on this.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I
happy
think,
to hear
yeah,
that.
this will this will be a part of his legacy, unfortunately, which is
Yeah.
why he was trying to, because I mean, for all of the love that he has, it was also understood, if not in Gen Pop, at least amongst black people, that Diddy ain't never pay nobody. Like,
Word.
that was an understood thing, that he was a dick, that he probably shot, that, you know what I mean? Like, all of these were things that we were like, yeah.
Yo, word.
And then the thing there was the twist of like, um yeah, but he's still my dude, or yeah, fuck him. But it was, those were already things that were talked about, like understood, joked about in a way that you could say something like, "Well, I hope they don't sign with Diddy," and everyone goes, "Ah, ha, ha, yeah, because Diddy don't pay nobody." Like, that's been the case for over 30 years. 30
Yeah.
years we've
Nah,
been
that's
saying
real.
that. So, for him to turn around and before all of this hit and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna give everyone their po-" Nah, what's up?" Like,
Yeah,
immediately we were
yo.
like, "That's not right." But those who were like, "Ah, he's fine with me," their mindset was, "Oh, look at him finally
Yeah.
making it right." It's been wrong for so long. And we
No.
just so yeah, like yeah, he'll still get played. He'll still get love. There are people who, I mean, because it's an emotional,
Yeah.
I mean, all art is emotional or should be linked to an emotion, true art. Um, and I don't mean that in like one type of art is more emotional or better than another type of art. I just think that art, no matter what it is, should connect to some sort of emotion. And I'm looking at you, AI, you full of shit. Anywho, so yeah, so there will always be, because emotions don't always die, and people will hold on to these things that make them feel good. And if that's a person affiliated with it, they'll defend them to the very end.
Word.
So
Man, I ain't defend them to the end, but I ain't gonna fry defending them for. But
You did, and it
yeah,
did, for a lot of people, it took something like this for them to be like, "Oh, shit."
yeah, like this was
Yeah,
different.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, it's a rough hit for those of us who have hated him forever, but,
real
we
talk.
also knew, through hating him forever, we've also seen him get over time and again on
Right.
shit, so we're not surprised. We're not surprised.
It's over.
We were just hoping. We were just hoping that something would stick. He's not 100% Teflon, like you said, he lost all of that corporate shit, so it
Yeah.
will have to be music, and then we'll see how that goes, like, like, who will still rock with him, and
Right.
if audiences even still wanna hear it, or if you're just gonna be playing to the unks and the aunties forever,
Right. No,
which might be fine, they also have disposable income.
yeah, arguably the most.
Yeah, yeah,
Real talk.
probably, yeah,
Like that's the demo that has the money to spend.
right.
Um, I knew it was like about a month ago, Joe Budden on his podcast was interviewing a young R&B singer. I'm not super familiar with her work, but I did some recon, loved what I heard.
Mhm.
But she was someone who had worked with Diddy. And like the first like four questions of the interview were related to like, so did you get got? Like you got like, and like I'm like, that's wild that like so much of like the first four questions about her career is just people asking like, "Oh, so you got paid, right? Like, did you get paid? Did you get paid well? Was it worth like the trade off of not getting paid?"
See?
You know what I mean? So yeah, like it sucks. And but yeah, like it was interesting hearing her like side of it as all of this rolled out.
Mhm.
And essentially she apparently went to Diddy's crib and said, "Hey man, what's going down? I don't think it's ideal for me to stay as part of your label."
Right.
And apparently he didn't put up a fight, let her go.
Ooh, that's how you know he was like, "Oh,
So
sh."
he, yeah,
So, 'Cause
He
that
was
is
like,
not
yeah,
that is not the Diddy we all have seen.
real talk. I was like,
That's
yo,
how
this
he
is
knew, like, "Yeah, no, they kinda got my number."
yo, like weird shit. I'm gonna be super like transparent with y'all here.
Mhm.
When Diddy first started giving out his publishing, I sincerely was like, oh, this dude got cancer. And
Oh,
then
wow.
real talk, like that was like my first instinct. Like that's the right amount of like tragedy that could hit someone like that. That it would be like, yeah, I should make everything right business wise. And then when the real reason came out, I was like, man, I really wish you had cancer. Like, yo, it would have made things so much easier for me as a fan and as a person.
Ah.
Like, why couldn't you be dying, bro? You know?
Wow. Well,
I'm
now
telling you.
I'm concerned that anybody who signed that agreement, um, that there's like a hidden line in there, like, "Now if I get off, null and void. I'm taking all your money back."
Real talk.
But, you know what I mean? Because but yeah, ugh, yuck.
Uh-uh.
Anywho, this dummy.
Let's get into the news.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, to everyone, it's not gonna be breaking news every time.
Real
We
talk.
but
I'll get used to that.
yeah,
You
don't
know what
get
I mean?
used to it, but sometimes something happens and I'm like, "Oh, this is a thing that we should talk about now because if we wait a whole week, people will be mad and let's
No, that's
just"
fair.
because I mean, Diddy knew this is a big one, and for
Real
people
talk.
to wait for a week
That'd
to
have been
hear
all of our tweets.
yeah, ugh, that'll be the only thing. We won't get any articles. We'll just be like, "Hey, man."
Yeah, we waiting, okay?
Yeah, so that's
You know what I
fair,
mean?
that's fair.
We gotta like once a quarter we'll incorporate like an emergency episode for y'all. Don't worry about it. Oh man, let's get into it. Kicking us off. This was the most sent to me article this week.
It
Uh
was?
Real talk, by far. I had to submit, I think, 4 times. Hurdler wins 400-meter race despite his dick and balls falling out several times. And I want to be clear, that's not me freestyling.
No, that's the actual headline.
That's the headline. Uh,
Oh,
Eagle-eyed trackheads following the Strava Golden Spike in Sechia might
Chechnya?
Chech
Chechnya.
Chechia uh,
Czechia.
Czechia
Yeah.
there might have noticed American hurdler Chris Robinson, an NCAA champion at Alabama, winning the 400 meters with some unorthodox form. Midway through the event, Robinson began reaching after every hurdle to adjust himself in a way familiar to any penis haver. Surely, even a top track athlete would not be able to win a race, let alone in a season best 48.05 seconds with his dong flapping around. This is article speak. This is not me. Going balls out usually does not lend itself to going balls out. Haha, like it. Some research was needed. Track's not a huge deal here in the States, and only video existed as a live stream on a subscription service. But yeah, while tantalizingly intelligible, there is sadly no way to know what in Penn
Oh,
society.
because they found a Swedish
Oh, this is the
yeah,
yeah, good
so they
call.
couldn't find any video here in the States because we don't care about track except every 4 years. So they found a write-up in a Swedish paper, and it said, um, "Slag Säsong basta efter Penenschlacken."
Real
Now,
talk.
Penisschlacken, uh, probably means, penis fell out. So that's what this okay, but there is video. Did you watch this video?
I did. I fully understand this feeling. Um, Real
Okay.
talk. So first, this happens to me once every like 2 months when I sit down to pod. Like right before I sit down to pod, I haven't adjusted my boxes correctly.
Oh, okay, so you sit on your nuts?
I sit like in a weird way where like uh nuts penis not in the right place. So
Mm.
like, you know what I mean? It just happens. You got to adjust.
Sure, I don't know how y'all live with those things.
Real talk. Then low key, I've been advocating for this. Like everybody's trying to get surgery to get bigger penises. I want adjustable size penises. That's what I think would be the future. I feel like by day, I want a little penis, like penis, the minimum amount that like gets not in the way. I also want my pants to not have the bump. You know what I mean? I want just sleek for style,
Okay.
you know?
Mhm.
And then, you know what I mean? I want to be able to adjust to the when I want the biggest penis, not even when making love. That's like hacky. I actually want a big penis when I'm urinating. I don't want to like I don't like the ricochet.
Yeah, the
I just want to
splashback.
yeah, I hate that. You know what I mean? And like
Okay.
not even because of like I don't want I like when you're in the urinal, I don't like it hitting my shirt.
Sure.
You know, so I want to go toilet, but I don't want to go toilet because then like the splashback hits my sneakers when I miss.
Right, right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Mhm.
So big penis there makes it easier.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean? And
Mhm.
then penis during sex, you know, I'm an ally. Like I leave that up to my partner, you know what I mean? Currently Gabby, you know what I mean? Real talk. You know what I mean? Whatever you in the mood for today, that's what we doing. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I'm here for you.
okay, okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm an ally. That's very kind of you.
Right? You know what I
I
mean?
mean, you're not bearing the brunt of it, as it were, so let
Yeah,
them
like
decide. That's fair.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
fair.
I'm finishing regard. What do you need? Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
People too selfish with this stuff,
No,
man.
that's true. That's very true. Okay. I did see the footage. No one's I don't think or did someone send this to me? Maybe someone did, but I did see the footage of him, no pun intended, because it did seem to be a large penis that came
Yeah,
flopping out. I and I know this is a problem for runners. Um although I thought nowadays we were running in the kind of like a compression-y type short,
yes.
right?
They got
It's
like
like
a like underwear that's like tight, and then it has a short over it. So it's like two things. There's a compression underwear
right.
within the short, and then ideally you have your own compression underwear as well. Just there should be
Right.
two
I mean,
layers.
I'm just thinking of, like, in the Olympics, usually everyone the it seems like everyone's racing in like a body like a
Oh, got you.
leotard, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel
they may have something compression on underneath that, so it's not just all bulge, but then there's,
right,
like, the loose short kinda thing with a little pouch to put your stuff in is very 70s, 80s, and I
right.
thought, like, around the 90s is when they really just threw more, spandex at it. Although, I have where was I? Oh, goodness. Oh, I think we were sitting outside. I was in high school in, drill team, we had a game, and, uh, I'm sitting outside with a friend waiting for my dad to come pick us up, and, there's a guy who's running around the grounds. It's like a college. He's running the grounds, and he's clearly, working out or whatever, and as soon as he got we were just sitting on the ground having our conversation. As soon as he got to us, his, his dick and balls just bloop right out the side,
Uh,
and he just tucked them back in and kept going. And yeah, yes, that's I mean, bad timing because it was in front of, girls, but we were just like my friend was scandalized, but I was just like, "Yeah, no, that happens." Because my dad ran track and he
yeah,
had little shorts like that. And I know I've had discussions with him about just like, "Yeah, man, they don't, I have to get like a jock or, a jock strap because they don't have them in these shorts and I can't be flopping around everywhere." And I was like, that's fair. That's very
yeah.
fair. But this fella, here's what I thought. I didn't listen to it. I just kind of watched the thing. And hurdles, first of all, kudos to you because if you had smacked your dick on the top of one of those hurdles, my feeling is that that would hurt.
Yeah,
Um,
real talk.
and secondly, I didn't realize he won. I
Yeah,
thought at a certain point he was just like, "Well, I guess I can't it's coming out no matter what, so I just don't kinda care." So I guess when I saw him just kinda at some point just be like, "Well, that's that." I didn't realize that was, like, the end of the race. I thought he was, like, just gracefully like, "You guys
letting the others.
continue. Leave me behind. I'm dead weight, leave me behind." But I guess that was the end of the race. And then so not only learned that he won, but that he set a personal best?
Yo.
Brother, leave everything at home next time. I just want to see you out there in a crop top and
Real
your
talk.
sneakers. What are we doing?
Yo.
This is how they did it in the original Olympics.
Real talk.
You mean to tell me they had compression socks or jock straps or whatever? Nah, go on and let your flag fly, I guess.
Listen, if your time is the goal,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Then yeah, you got to run nude, baby. That's the rule. It's the
Like,
future.
oh, don't people who run, don't they say something about running barefoot, how it's different than running with shoes, but some say that it's better, and I'm like, that can't be. All I'm thinking of is all the bones in my feet just being ground to dust. But but like when people run in like those toe shoes, where
Yeah.
there's a and it's like they're like that's better for running or whatever. Do the same with your dick, man. Just let it out.
Real
And
talk. Let it rock.
I am certainly not seeing that because I want to see dicks flopping around on the
Yeah, it's not,
track. I do not. I don't wanna no. No.
yeah, to be clear, like that's not like sexy time. Nothing
No,
about that
no,
is
it's
attractive.
all business. You trying to
Yeah,
break records. Do what you
real
gotta
talk.
do.
Like it as someone that like I admire the human physique. The only time during a track when that is attractive is pre-race. You know what I mean? They're standing. You know what I mean? You can see them at like their
Oh, the
physical
human
peak.
physique. Yes, right.
Yeah. But like once they running, none of that is sexy. Same with the dudes. Like I don't want to see like 100 mile per hour titty. Like that's weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It
strap
doesn't.
those down. I'm
Yeah.
here to tell I don't think running free with the titties is or maybe that's just my titties, but I don't think that's as effective as I guess. But what do I know? I haven't tried it yet.
I would
Also,
assume it's not because there's like pain involved.
I
'Cause I
mean,
feel like
it's
every
a lot of
woman,
flopping, but I assume the same with a penis that there's a lot
yeah,
of flopping, but there's only one source of flopping unless you count the balls. But then if those draw up, I I don't balls have their own
yeah,
mind. Like they work on a whole different thing. My understanding of them is. So like I feel like they draw up when they sense danger or temperature changes or things like that.
yeah,
Titties don't do that. They're just like, "Nah, I'm here.
right.
This is where I stay." Be it up or down, this is where I am.
See, huh?
So I feel like unless it was very hot or something, like I thought maybe the balls would draw close to him, like, oh, you trying to do a thing, unless they figured, oh, well, we're in the way. But won't you be more in the way if you're down closer to the thigh? That's where the movement is. Like
Yeah,
the dick is just stupid. Like
yeah.
we
Dick
all
is dumb. Dick
dick
don't
is
know what it's
dumb.
doing.
But
Yeah,
the balls are the brains.
real talk. Real- we don't normally do blue humor. We're just this is the
This isn't
science.
you. This is science. Also, I'm writing that down because that's merch. Dick is dumb, but balls are the brain. Oh boy. Here
Yeah,
we
like I'm
go.
trying to think of like football practice, and like
Mm.
I def remember being conscientious of how it felt like when my penis and dick would hit my leg when I was running
Uh-huh.
up until we only during the spring like and or the preseason. But once we started practicing with equipment, I never worried about it because I knew I had my cup on.
Right.
The compression, the restriction, like weirdly made me run freer
Right.
because I
Because you
knew
knew
I
it
didn't have to
wasn't going
worry
to.
about like it wasn't gonna hit me. Like and that shit hurt. Like when you going like trying to beat a 40 time
Yeah.
and like your penis slapped the shit out of your own thigh, that
Yeah.
shit
No,
hurt, B.
that's gonna be annoying. That's
Oh
why I
man.
don't understand why the young man didn't have on
Yeah,
better
you got it.
stuff.
Real talk.
Unless it is so big that it just broke through the barrier, which honestly, in my professional, not professional opinion, it appeared to be something of a hog.
You
But
know, he homie was blessed and props.
but like, which I feel like double wrap it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? What are we doing? Use the stuff that movers use to move dressers. You know that
real
thick
talk.
plastic that they just wrap around. Put that
Yeah,
around your pelvis and keep it moving.
real talk. You had that Dominican dude that won the gold. Homeboy had that shit like stuck to his stomach. Like that up. He couldn't figure out a way to like package it. And that shit was just to the side. Like crazy. Like
God.
it was insane. And he had the full compression suit. So
Well,
like it was like a visible outline of his joint. And like you can't it was weird because like I felt like because he was covered, he was being decent. Obviously, he wasn't like showcasing,
right.
but you could see it. So like I felt like depending on what network you watched it, they blurred it.
Probably.
You know, like they didn't like, hold on, this is wild. But also, he's not. He's doing his event. He's running.
Right.
He's still covered. He wasn't being indecent. You know what I mean? It's just this was the best way to run, and clearly he won. You know what I mean? Rest of y'all should switch to this compression shit. You know what I mean? But straight up, he had that shit like taped to his belly button or some crazy shit. It was
Well,
wild.
I mean, that's yeah. My understanding is that's what you would do if you were a teenager and you had one of those spontaneous boners that seems to strike y- i- teenagers. Is that you just tuck it under your belt and you keep going.
Yeah, that's why the '90s was great for us. Is we sagged anyway. Yeah, real talk. My pants
Yeah,
already
no,
there.
actually, honestly, yeah, the person who told me that, that would have been the same time frame, so yes.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know how people do it now, but like I
yeah.
sagged my pants, had my belt buckle around there, and I was like, all right, cool,
Well,
2 minutes, I'll be
actually,
fine.
honestly, young people are still sagging. They sag the skinny pants. So
Smart people,
that's how. They have yet to pull their pants up. They don't even know big pants are a thing now. They
but the
still make
sagging
fun of
still in.
people who are wearing big pants, so they're wearing skinny pants, but they are still sagging them. It's very interesting.
Huh, look at that.
So it's more function than fashion, everyone,
Listen.
is what the sag is. Okay.
Shouts to Chris Robinson. I
Yeah, I imagine your phone is blowing up.
real talk. And always, real talk.
Yeah.
DMs is flooded, sponsorship opportunities galore.
All kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Real talk, man. Make it happen out there, my G. Uh, oh man. In other news, man hired to mow lawn at a $4.3 million mansion throws a massive party with hundreds of guests. That's right. A landscaper threw a wild party at his client's jaw-dropping North Carolina mansion while they were on vacation. But he claims he did nothing wrong. Michael Brown, who runs Brown's Dream Team Landscaping,
Hmm.
has previously mowed the lawn of the $4.3 million house in Weddington. But on Saturday afternoon, the 37-year-old had other plans at the ritzy residence, hosting a massive blowout without the owner's permission. Hundreds of guests, mostly teens and young adults, flocked to the mansion, each paying an entry fee to Brown that he pocketed.
This
With
man threw a rent party at a house he wasn't even renting. Ain't that some
straight up,
shit?
yo, respect. The music blasting and the cars clogging up the typically quiet street baffled neighbors who grew concerned and filed complaints. I was like, that's not a venue. How are they managing it? So we were disturbed with all the traffic and the cars and the people and not knowing what's happening, said a nearby resident. Police arrived to shut down the illegal, chaotic event and identified Brown as the ringleader. Brown allegedly claimed he was the homeowner and the party was a celebration for his son's graduation. But he was arrested after cops found holes in his story.
Like, give us the keys to the
Yo, man, I love this. The party throwing landscaper was charged with breaking and entering, second degree trespassing, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, injury to a real property, and obtaining property by false pretenses. He posted a $10,000 bond later that day and has shown no regret for hosting the rager.
He
I
had the
didn't,
money. He was gonna post that
yeah,
bond.
real talk. It was all that. He gave it to him. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It was the entry fee.
My man had it in cash. He's like, we taking you in. Here you go. Don't even worry about it, my G. I didn't break the law, he said. I just broke some rules of probably what the owners didn't want me to do, but I didn't break the law. He also admitted to throwing the party for his son and his friends for a profit. I just want to always do something where we could create an income and bring a positive environment for his friends.
Okay. Okay. Let's stop right there.
Brown claimed he was
Uh-huh.
not charging an entry fee, but making guests pay for security. A story the cops were not buying, with May saying he recovered more than $3,000. The owner knew I was supposed to be there, Brown claimed, later adding he's like their son and is at their house nearly every day.
Look, there's a lot going on here. Okay. There's so much going on. First of all, I just want to make sure I have the timeline right for what this man said. First of all, he said, "No, no, no, I'm the owner. My son graduated, and this is his graduation party."
Love it, love it.
Um, and the cops were like, "No," and he said, "Okay, you got me." And he
You
said,
right, you right, you
"All
right.
right, all right, all right." but the owner knew I was supposed to be here because I'm kind of like their son, like I'm here every day. Yeah, you do landscaping for them. You're there at least once a week. If it's a big old place and you're trying to keep it looking good, I'll give you maybe twice a week, but certainly once a week you're there.
Oh yeah.
That don't make you like a son. Like a son?
Twice a week. Twice a week, Sha.
Nah. Uh-uh. That don't make you like a son. You know what I mean? I I go to work twice a week. That don't mean that don't mean like they're my parents, you know? But the owner did know you were supposed to be there because you were supposed to be there cutting their grass,
Hey,
not
real
in the
talk.
house.
We all know he wasn't doing that too.
Oh, of course, to make it look nice for the party for his son for the graduation. And then this is the part that gets me. I just want to always do something where we could create an income and bring a positive environment for his friends. This fucking entrepreneur LLC talk, I'm so over this bull where you're weaponizing like having a bit. Well, I'm just trying to make sure that the young man learns responsibility and how to run a business and that we're always generating income and everything's a hustle and that we're, everything's positive for the shut up. It's an 80s movie. Your
Come on.
parents were out of town and you wanted to throw a big fucking party. And you
Greenwood
knew
District, baby.
kids
This
would
is
pay because adults aren't gonna pay because 'cause they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck's house is this?" But children don't care.
Sha.
Mm-mm.
You're getting in the way of Black Wall Street.
See?
Okay?
I knew you had something to say about this.
It's just a man trying to teach his son how to provide for himself, how to not have a boss. He was tired of having his own boss. He started his own business. He said, "This is how you do it, son. When you see opportunity, take it." You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? You know how much it costs to rent out a space like this? Look how I got it for free. You know what I mean? It's part of my other business. I could write this off twice now.
Can you? Can he?
You know what I
Is he
mean?
able to write off bond? Can he
Low
write
key,
off a bond?
low key, I'm seeing what I saw was an article talking about his business that said his business's name in full. That's publishing, that's promotion.
Right? Yes.
Low
Uh-huh.
key, that
Yeah.
$10,000 went far. I know how
Did
much it
it?
costs for a publicist.
Okay. It's
Ain't
also saying that through his business, he will, if you are not home, he will throw a party.
look at that. So he's advertising your house. You know what I mean? When
Oh,
you want to
you
sell
don't
it in the
want your
future.
house at if you are paying for someone to come out and do landscaping on your house twice a week, you ain't trying to advertise
Fair,
your
fair.
house. That's for
That's all.
people in the know.
You know what? He's throwing that in. You know what I mean?
Oh
That's a
my
gesture.
God. See,
You know what I mean?
that's this whole ridiculous social media. Here's how, you just got to just start an LLC. It's just a form and a fee. And now, no, no,
Oh
no.
man. Shouts to new War Report show sponsor, Legal Zoom. Uh for $300, you too can start your own landscaping business / party throwing business /
Yeah,
make your son happy
yeah.
business. You know what I mean?
That seems like a mistake. I mean, good luck to you, sir.
My favorite part of this article is like, you're so right about the social part because, like, the first picture shows the house, right? Second
Mhm.
picture shows his mugshot, but the third picture it shows a picture of him at the party, and it looked like an Instagram like live, like it's clearly a selfie. You
Yeah.
know,
Yes. Yes.
that is so
He
dope.
literally it's not like he just popped on live and was like, "Hey,
Come
come
out,
down now. Here's the address. 20 will get you in.
real talk,
30 if it's a couple.
real talk.
Boy, girl only.
Boy, girl only.
Boy,
ten
girl
dollars
only
and you got a
couple.
gift for my son. We can talk. You know what I mean? He just graduated. You know what I mean?
Bring what you want to drink. We got a little something, but if there's something you want, bring it.
Bring it. Real talk.
Bring your food. I don't know how to work the grill here.
I I think it's gas if somebody know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a key. I don't understand. We
Oh
tried to use
man.
charcoal, damn near blew up the place. So
$50 to park on the property, street parking for everyone else.
right.
See y'all there, yo. Oh man. Yo, real
And
talk.
you can't hear any of this because he's linked to some popular song playing over it, and you can't hear. And it's just that I ain't never get the do it. That's all that's playing in the background. Baby, like no one hears anything.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh
Oh
my
man, Michael
god.
Brown, thank you so much for showing up at a time when I just lost Diddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there. Like I said, there's always someone out here.
Oh, this is perfect.
Ugh.
In other news, airline crew members do have sex in the cockpit. Oh,
Ew, ew.
confessions are out. While frequent flyers are sitting back and enjoying the ride, freaky wingmen are too. This is according to an in-flight insider who claims captains and cabin crew members secretly have sex in the sky. Here's how pilots and flight attendants join the Mile High Club while they're on the clock, and you're in the passenger seat. Support began Sierra Mist, an experienced air hostess.
No,
Yo,
I need more
am I
credentials.
real?
There's
So I
somebody
read
named
that name.
Huh?
I read that name correctly, right? I'm not bugging.
No,
That is
you're
the
not
former
bugging.
Sora.
It is Sierra Mist. But also it's Sierra Cierra. Mist is Mistt. And
Real
let me
talk.
tell you something. 2 T's?
That's not a birth name, sir? No?
No. 2 T's on Mist? Ma'am,
Oh,
your
man.
first job was not being a air hostess. Let me just say that.
Real talk. I will say it might have been her last job. You know
Maybe.
what I
Oh my
mean?
gosh.
The not safe for work know-it-all explained. So there's at least 2 pilots in the flight deck, and there has to be at least 2 people in the flight deck at all times on the flight. If a pilot is hungry or has to go pee, he has to come out of the flight deck, but a flight attendant has to go in there to replace him. And that's how plans of initiation to join the Mile High Club are activated. In It's a club for heat-seeking hedonists who prefer hanky-panky on a plane. For the few that have not heard of this term, the mid-air romps, which are not officially considered illegal offenses, have been deemed icky by flight attendants such as Suzanne Buckman, who's caught couples getting it on in the aircraft bathroom. Mist, however, isn't dismayed by the display. The Skyway siren even teased that she's enjoyed some coitus in the clouds during a shift or two.
Oh, the New York Post. Let me also just say this is by the New York Post, which is why there's so much wordplay and stupid jokes in here.
Real talk.
Okay, so here are her rules. Uh, Number 1, make sure you work with a crew that you can trust who also know your plan to have sex. And number 2, you pick a flight that you know has a route that's normally a smooth ride.
Once you have
What?
those,
What
yo.
about weather? What about weather?
Oh
New
man.
York to Atlanta, I call it a jitney. It takes me longer to get from my apartment to an airport on public transportation than it takes me to get from New York to Atlanta on a flight. It's a smooth ride, but
Right.
we've hit some shit.
Yo.
We've hit some shit. So now you and also have do we all know what a cockpit looks like? They're like
Okay.
bucket you are surrounded
Yeah.
by stuff
Real talk.
like levers and buttons and lights. So you mean while someone has to go to the bathroom, you as a flight attendant just come in here and just perch and so it's 2 people on 1 seat, no one
Yeah.
in the other?
You gotta assume the seat does the full like 180 rotation, right? Like it has to turn away from the buttons.
Does it? I assume they just kinda lift up and climb in there like a kid trying to get on a like monkey bar style. I don't know. Maybe that's my fault.
Real talk.
Because it doesn't look like you're so surrounded by stuff that it doesn't look like it can swing any either way.
No, you're
Maybe
right.
out to if you're sitting on the right, maybe to the right-hand side and on the left to the left-hand side.
I just
Like
know that as an adult, there came an age where like, as much as I love my partner, we were like, yo, we can't do this in the car no more. Like
No.
we're a in the house couple,
Yeah.
you know? I feel like, and that's with one gear shift in the way. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they doing this with like all those buttons. Real talk. The most I ever did was accidentally turn on the radio. You know, and they got like literal lives in the back. I was fully parked.
Let
These
me
people
tell
doing
you
wildness.
something. If I die because somebody's fucking in the cockpit, I'm haunting you forever. Forever.
Yo, I'm
You,
just
your
thinking
your children, family members,
all of them.
coworkers, I'm haunting all of y'all.
Say a weird shit. Yo, daddy was fucking on a plane,
Yeah, I'm absolutely. It's not even
snitching the
gonna be
whole
like
time.
slick. Imma say, "I was in this seat." That's right. 27D
Mm-hmm.
says y'all were on some bullshit, and now I'm up here flying around. So
Real
now I'm
talk.
gonna fuck up here with all of y'all. I'm not
Amen.
doing it.
Forever.
No, that's insane.
Real talk, man. I'm a diabetic too, so like I be getting my water slow, and now
Mm.
I know why. You know
Now
what I
you
mean?
know why. Now you know
Real
why.
talk. That Diet Coke don't take that long, homie.
Nope, mm-mm. And
Mm-mm.
also, if you just give us if you in such a hurry to fuck up there, give us the whole can of soda.
Yeah.
Why
You
you
over here
splitting
pouring.
the ginger ale 3 ways? Just give me the can so you can go up there and screw. Oh my god. Let if you have it work out for me, then great.
Yeah. Real
But
talk.
ugh.
Mm-mm. In other news, Brooklyn judge rules that a dog can be immediate family member in New York. That's right. New York City takes its love for animals quite seriously. This week, Supreme Court Judge Aaron Maslow ruled that dogs are no longer seen as property, but immediate family. This news comes on the heels of City Council member Keith Powers introducing a bill to legalize bodega cats. All in all, it's a good week for our four-legged friends.
Yeah,
Uh,
wait. But the bill for the bodega cats hasn't been made law yet, right?
no, these are both just this is a bill being introduced.
Okay. No, because this one is a judge ruled that a dog is immediate family.
So that's in.
So that's in.
I like that. Now I'm curious. I could claim them on taxes.
I don't think it goes that far, sir. But maybe.
Yo,
Maybe.
low key, you might have just sold me on scratch.
You
Low key,
already
I'm gonna come
have
up
the dog.
real. I'm saying this. It's been 6 months of me saying I don't get this, and my kids being real happy. But yo, if I could get that extra $1,000, like all right, we could do this. You know what I mean?
You think
That
you
now the
could write
dog's
off a
taking care of
dog for
itself.
an extra $1,000? Is that how
Like
much it costs?
it's something like that for like a kid.
Okay,
So if I
alright.
add another dependent, you know what I mean? And the dog costs like 2,000 a year. So like, I could drop the extra G for my kids' happiness. You know what I mean? I love this. Yo, shouts to this Supreme Court justice, Supreme Court judge Aaron Maslow. He's thinking of the people. The
Yeah, I
judge.
mean, that's great, that's lovely, but does that also count for cats? Although I know that cats don't wanna be considered part of any family, but
Real talk.
but they still
Cats.
wanna eat though, right? Y'all still wanna eat?
Real
Okay.
talk. Cats don't want to be family, but they want to be in the will.
Yeah,
You know
how
what I
about
mean?
that? Cats don't wanna be family, but they wanna be in the will.
Real talk, yo. I don't fuck with you, but yo, you ain't leave me nothing? For real? Oh
Imma take
man.
it anyway.
Real talk, yo. The day you pass away, Sal, you gonna find out Lucinda knew how to write. She gonna
The whole
forge all your
time.
shit. Real talk.
She
A whole
had
bunch of
her own
documents come out.
phone. Yeah, she go
Shalewa's whole closet goes to the cat. What?
she's already selling shit out of it. Yep, all
Yup.
mine.
Real talk. You gonna see Sulinda sporting the fly ass glasses out of nowhere, like, yo, hitting the block with frames.
Honestly, good for her. I gotta leave this shit to somebody.
Yo, she gonna be killing it, yo. Your sister in Atlanta tight, yo. Like, yo, I thought that was me. Nah, that's all me.
Nope.
I got the paperwork right here. You can read it.
Like, when did you it's just a paw. It's just a bunch of paw prints. but she writes out Lucinda. It's the will is in paw prints, but she writes out Lucinda.
Real talk. She said you can have the podcast mic. That's it. But the rest, all me. You know what I mean? Makes sense. You know, I'm not into public figure stuff. You know, she said you into that. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, shouts to Brooklyn. Our neighborhood, wow.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh man, finally, over 40% of kids in the US study thought bacon was a plant.
Okay.
That's right. The study has found a significant percentage of our 4 to 7-year-old children from the United States believe hot dogs, hamburgers, and bacon come from plants. Spoiler, they are not, to be clear. Published in the Journal of Environmental Psychology in 2021, the study involved a team of psychologists who asked 176 children from a southeastern metropolitan area. Okay.
Ooh, I don't like the sounds of that.
Real talk made me feel a lot better. I was like, all right, cool. That's not me.
All right. I'm going to say Charlotte.
Real talk. I was thinking
Get it
Charleston.
together, Charlotte. Oh, maybe Charleston. Yeah, they are.
Yo,
I can say that about South Carolina because I went to school there for 1 year. And let me tell you, they absolutely might think that bacon is a plant. For
real
sure.
talk.
I don't want to just go Alabama.
That's mean. That's mean.
Feasible, but mean. And then I'm not even sure Mississippi has any metropolitan area. That's so mean. That's terrible. I'm just kidding, Mississippi. You guys, you truly tried to save us with the boat thing. You know what I mean?
Talk,
yeah. So you always in history, you got a spot.
Real talk. I've never thrown a shot at Mississippi since that day.
Yeah, I know.
They are good graces with me forever.
Absolutely. I'm gonna open my front door. There's gonna be a guy with a folding chair, like you knew what it was, and then just
real talk.
Boing.
In the background, you're going to see hats thrown up.
Right? Did you see there was a clip on Juneteenth of someone who I guess had gone to get on that cruise, and there was a black guy sitting behind the table, like signing them in or doing something, and one of them's taping it, and they're like, "Hey, are you the guy that threw the hat up?" And he's like, "I sure am." And they're like, "Ah!"
That's awesome.
So he's still working.
Yo, that's what's up, bro. Hell yeah. Real talk, man. The check's still clearing. Hell
yeah. Anyway, let's figure out why our children are so stupid. Okay.
The study published in 2021 asked 176 southeastern children from a southeastern metropolitan area to categorize different foods, including cheese, French fries, bacon, popcorn, shrimp, almond, and eggs. The responses threw up a number of surprises, including 47% of participants believe that French fries come from animals. Cheese was commonly misidentified as plant-based, with 44% incorrectly identifying its origin. 41% believe bacon came from a plant. 40% said the same thing about hot dogs. And even chicken nuggets, which famously have chicken in the name, was misidentified as a plant by 38% of the kids. Popcorn and almonds were also commonly misclassified as animal-based by more than 30% of the children. As well as assessing the children's knowledge of foods, the team looked at what animals and plants the kids believe could and couldn't be eaten. It appears there's a lot of confusion with that as well, as the majority believed that cows, 77%, pigs, 73%, and chickens, 65%, were all inedible.
Oh, our children are dumb.
Real talk.
Okay, but this happened. This study was done in 2021.
Yep.
So I want to put COVID on part of this, but I can't. I mean, our kids are. It's not like we've been able to increase the spending to teach kids what food is what since then.
Yeah. And also, like, I was thinking that too when I initially read this, except that it's 4 to 7.
Right.
Like by 7, I don't care what COVID, you should know certain shit.
Yeah, you should know that a burger came from. If you don't think a burger came from a cow, you should at least think it came from a pig because it's called a hamburger.
Yeah, like that's what I'm asking for. Like you should know. I'm cool with some of the plant-based stuff, but like 70% of y'all not
is a plant.
Yeah, yo, that real talk. I was like, I get it. You don't see the line because it's not straight. You gotta go, animal to milk to cheese.
Right. Yes.
Maybe you lost it. But
I mean,
yo,
I
77% of y'all not thinking cows are edible. 73 not thinking pigs are edible. And 65 not thinking chickens are edible. Everything they eat at that age is chicken.
I know, I know.
That's all they eat is chicken. Chicken fingers, chicken nuggets. Y'all
Yeah.
don't eat anything else.
Um, I I don't I'm so worried about the kids. Wait, what was I thinking about these children? Oh, I know. Whenever someone says they're allergic to dairy,
Mm.
I can't remember what all falls under dairy, right? And
Okay.
I also have issues with lactose, like, we don't see eye to eye,
Okay.
right? But I can't remember what counts.
Okay.
So, if a kid was like but we're not asking these kids that. We're not like, "Hey, are eggs dairy?" And they were like, "Honestly, yes or no?" I don't know. I'd be like, "That's fair. I don't really know either." Um,
Oh man. You know what? You just made me reread this now. Let me double check. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're not necessarily saying this is the answer, but they're being like cautious.
no, I think they're like I mean, the kids think that popcorn is animal based, and I don't understand how that happens. Or
Yeah, that's wild.
almonds that you're not if you said popcorns were nuts, like almonds are nuts and peanuts are nuts, I'll give it to you. They're eaten the same way, right?
Yo, this
Or if
rough.
you at least said it was maybe a vegetable because it's corn, popcorn. I'll
Okay.
give you that. But you think it's an animal? What animal do you think it is?
Yeah, yo, real I wish
What does a
these
live
surveys had
popcorn
more
look like?
questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to see the whole study. Like, how are we putting this to them?
Real talk, yo. After you ask these questions, when you see a kid say popcorn used to be an animal, you allowed to interrupt. Like
Well,
you don't got
I
you
mean,
shouldn't
I
keep going.
wonder if maybe they're not because it's a study, so you just have to let them speak freely.
Yeah, I would have definitely been like, yeah, I know this was a study, but like,
Yeah, you can't
mm,
I think you have to just let them say what they say, mark it down, but I there definitely would have been a follow-up. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like 3 months later, I probably would have been like, "Okay, thank you for answering that for our study, we appreciate it. Now, we'd like it if you'd bring your child back in for an immersive study on what is what, 'cause
real talk.
your kid kinda stupid." Um Okay, the current study suggests that children eat meat unknowingly and perhaps in violation of a bias against animals as a food source. Childhood
Mm,
may therefore represent a unique window of opportunity during which lifelong plant based diets can be more easily established compared to later in life. So, if the kids don't know what is what now, then it's easier to make them, I guess, vegetarians?
right.
Which I think honestly, a a legendary episode of The Simpsons tackled this,
Huh.
where, Lisa learned where all of the food that they were eating where it came from,
Yeah.
pork chops and blah, 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 and she didn't like it. She didn't like it, so she decided that she was going to be vegetarian, and I think she met, like, Paul and Linda McCartney, who were famously vegetarian. But there was like a cookout and, Homer was going to cook a pig on a spit, like the whole thing. Like they were really throwing it in her face. It's one of the rare Simpson episodes where Homer is actually really smart and sarcastic and like sticking it to Lisa.
Okay. Okay.
And also it is where the phrase you don't win friends with salad comes from
Yo.
where you don't
Okay.
win friends with salad. They did a conga line with them saying you don't win friends with salad, and even Marge joined in. It's, one of my favorites. I do say the salad line a lot. But,
That's awesome.
yeah, but, I mean, Lisa falls in that age group
Yeah.
because I think she's 2nd grade or something, so she'd be, like, 7, but she, um, definitely became because she didn't know.
Right. Right.
And so, okay, that's interesting. And I imagine now that everything is being trumpeted as plant-based and they're putting pictures of burgers, which are
Oh, that's
definitely
fair.
meat burgers photos, but then they're like plant-based Impossible Burger and blah blah blah. That kids are just like, I don't know what. Am I supposed to know? I just know I like this one and more ketchup, please.
Whoa. Shy, you for real? That's like propaganda you saying right there.
What?
You for real believe that? That like the packaging on plant-based products is still taking pictures of real animal-based products?
Yeah, I think so.
Yo.
I think so. Just because, I mean, it's not even real. I don't know, because you gotta shellac. I think the food, you gotta when you're taking photos, like milk is actually glue and something else to make it look more liquidy, but it's not like real milk. But the food, you do like a shellac to it in order to make it stand up to the heat of the lights and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think if it was actual plant-based like burgers, it could even stand up to the shellacking. Because I've had a plant-based burger and I ate
Right.
half of it and I was like, oh, I'll have the other half a little later. And I went back to it a little later and it had literally turned into uh, uh, unrecognizable. It's like you got to eat it hot and you got to eat it fast because the the bloom is off the rose like
Cinderella burgers
it
over
is
there,
not. You got to eat that shit off the grill. You cannot let it sit for a second. So yeah, I would not be surprised if they use like actual, because you can dress it up and make it look like meat for sure when you're cooking and all that kind of stuff, but it's not going to make it through the photography session.
Yo. If you would like.
Oh no, I don't know what happened. You don't think is that not one of your conspiracy theories? Here's my problem with conspiracy theories. I don't think I have any, and then I say something that seems so obvious and right, and then you go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Isn't that obvious?" And then I guess, and then you just say, "If you would like," I'm like sitting here like, "Wait, is that not obvious?" Oh, all right. Well,
if you would like a list of the ever-growing, ever-shrinking list of things that Gastor trusts in his world, okay? All you gotta do is like and subscribe to the show, baby. If you're an Apple or Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You saw 2 of them go away today. You liked it. You know what I mean? 5 stars, you saw the 2 go away, but you don't like it. You want to preserve my innocence, okay? Thank you. You know what I mean? I lost Diddy, I lost burgers. You know what I mean?
Just the plant-based ones.
You know what I mean? Trying to eat healthier. You know what I mean? I needed that.
You could still eat them. You just got to eat them fast. That's all. You can't take no pictures of them 30 minutes later. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, man. The Impossible Whopper, 30-minute shelf life. That's all it got.
If that.
If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter and Instagram at Silky Jumbo, at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs this week to Detroit player and Laurie McDaniel. Always appreciate y'all. With all that said, I am the ever heartbroken, but trying to be vegetarian based Gastor Almonte. You know what I mean? With my favorite dream shatterer. Okay.
I mean, if you're trying to be a vegetarian, you can still apparently eat all kinds of meat. According to the kids.
Just know it's not gonna match that picture. You know what I mean?
It's gonna look weird.
Shalewa Sharpe. Oh man, this has been a reality check episode of the World Report. Catch y'all next time.